So, friends, today is World Mental Health Day. The objective of this day is to bring awareness among individuals about mental health and about the mental illnesses that are there, and most importantly, I feel making mental health a priority, which can be done without the occurrence of the mental illnesses or physiological damages and other damages that happen after a mental illness or a mental ailment or even existential suffering of a human being. So before I proceed any further, I would like to give a background of my own self and what I have been through in life. I am Ashish. I live in India, Kolkata, and I have been living with OCD for the past, I haven't counted, from 2007 onwards. I was like 18, 19 back then, and I don't no longer consider that as my identity. I live a very healthy life, a life that I'm proud of, and a life that me and my parents have enabled me to live and become the self who's talking in front of the camera rather than the one who was once complaining about a lot of things. Friends, the objective of this day is firstly is to make mental health a priority so that it doesn't transmute itself or metamorphosizes itself, as it did in my case, to something like OCD. How can we do that? And that is the main motive of this video. So friends, this video is primarily aimed at parents and to all our individuals who are healthy and trying to lead a normal life, trying to become a better individual by being generous and being kind to any person that they might come across. Not necessarily help them, but being kind through the eyes and through subtleness, which is exhibited not necessarily through any philanthropic deeds or taking anyone to a medical practitioner, but rather just being kind in general, because this kindness will bring calmness, which is, I know, variety is the spice of life, and through variety it breeds life, it breeds passion, it breeds a lot of things which are essential to life in the first place. But there are different phases in life of a person, and we must realize that not everybody is on the same page. To understand this, we must develop an emotional intellect, which is inherent in all human beings, I guess. It is not reserved for days. It is not reserved for any specific occasion. It is not reserved for anything that we might get in barter. So kindness is the key. Kindness is the antidote to all the chaos, and it can only be exhibited. Friends, we are individuals who have been greatly conditioned by society, by the things that we look around, see around, want to become, want to aspire for. So all these reasons of purpose and passion are good, but they might contribute to a certain degree of neglect in mental health. This might be different across different geographies that we live in, because Uh, in some places, even financial freedom is a luxury, and financial freedom, financial education, financial needs are so can be so less that it can contribute to a deterioration of not only mental health but a lot of normal aspects in life. So we must be considerate and kind. That's why I emphasized on kindness, because not every problem is a mental problem. There are problems which are absolutely tangible and they have mental repercussions. So we must acknowledge those problems and not treat mental health as a separate entity, but as an entity which is there, as tangible as as other things in life, as tangible as any other thing in life that we measure and we see and we observe. In this video, friends, I'm referring to a script and not adhering to the norms of perfectionism or any kind of stress or undue performance that I want to exhibit. I do not. I've written some points which I want to convey, and my narrative must not go in some other direction. So I might look into the pages that I have myself written. So, as parents who are parents, I would like to say one thing that I have observed in my journey. Though my parents have been very kind and they have been very helpful, and they have in fact helped a lot in my recovery, but parents who but people who are wanting to be parents and are parents, they must be very, very honest. They must be rather honest about to each other, as companions, as caregivers, as to not to impose anything unwanted or unwarranted upon their children, or their kin, or to anybody. Purpose will be given in life. It is not necessarily defined through a structure. It can be defined through anything, and anything that we do. As if I'm making this video also, it gives me a sense of purpose of what I'm saying through my words. So purpose is not necessarily defined as within a structure, that within such and such time we need to achieve such and such norms, such and such points, and success is granted. No, it's not like that. It can lead to success. It can lead to very high polarities. In fact, I would underscore that it might lead to high polarities of emotions which might give a sense of purpose, but also might give a sense of sadness within. So, friends, first we have to understand what exactly happens during mental illnesses and problems when we actually are into a mental problem. So there are physiological impacts of a mental illness, severe physiological impacts. In my case, there was lack of sleep. There was forgetting the word. I was sleep deprived, and sleep deprivation. That was a word that I was looking at, and there was something which might not be familiar with among popular culture, is psychosomatic pain. There is a lot of pain that is felt only through the nerves, and we aren't much aware about that. We are only aware of mental health as in losing connection with our own self. There is a lot of pain that is actualized within, through the spine and through the posture of through the activities. There are a lot of things. There is self neglect. So in my journey, many people might have seen the video that I'm going to give in the description of how I transformed when I was overweight, and I was doing fine in life. It's not that I was doing worse, or I was, after a point, my journey with OCD became, I won't say easy, it became bearable. So after a point, I was actually inclined in taking care of myself, and that's a purpose of my life. But that's, again, it's for all, with all purposes, it's a, I would say it's a, it can be it can be slightly misleading, because with a person who has OCD, and who's not saying that OCD is his identity, but who is dealing with OCD, it's very difficult for a person to be at par with everything in life. Very difficult. We can aspire to, I definitely do that. You can see my videos, but I'm not recommending or saying that this is the norm and this is the standard of how a person should be with any illness. It's not a recommendation. It's just, I believe to a certain extent, it's kind of adherence again to a structure, which I want to break through this channel. And that was the primary motive of coming so raw in front of social media, because I wanted to break off from the norm of that I'm a calisthenic guy, I maintain diet, I'm very disciplined. All those things might be true, but may not be true either. May not be true is due to the fact that what my background has been. It's very easy to misconstrue statements. May not be true means I might sustain it for a long duration, but I may not. It's like it's not my identity, and rather OCD is also not my identity. My identity is needs to be relaxed, needs to be devoid of any kind of pressure. And when a person is devoid of any kind of pressure, he or she does the best work that is there, which is just seamless. People will not be able to make connections. That's pretty much what I experienced. I was not able to make connections. It will be very hard to connect with another person, because it's your own connection is kind of gone with your own sleep, and it was very difficult with me to make connection with other people. That's why kindness is such a virtue, because it will enable the vulnerable aspect of each other whom we are talking to, and that will bring about a kind of friendship which is beyond everything, which is beyond terms like mental health and mental hygiene. It is at the core of who we are. Friends, teens and adolescents are by far the most toughest phase in, I would use the term in this case, the mental health spectrum, because what I faced in my journey, the psychosomatic pain and the future that is lying ahead of a person is right before he or she. So that time is really the hardest, because after a point in life, when we are old enough to realize certain things in life, that we tend to become numb as far as mental health is concerned. But I would highlight in my case that when a person is going through the teens and the adolescence, the pain is so palpable that it is slightly different from being numb. It's not saying that being numb doesn't needs to get highlighted and taken care of. It's just that the pain, the palpable pain of the teen and adolescence is slightly much is harder to endure, because the exposure and the experience of life is also less, guys. So we have to really take care of children and really guard with, not with ourselves, with our examples, because people will see, the children will see their parents as the example. I'm not a parent, but they will see and feel what life is through their parents, and everything is palpable through human emotions. Human emotion is one of the most, if not the most palpable and tangible thing that there is within, and we tend to go towards things which are monetized, or other things which are materialistic. So that's a big point to ponder upon for the society at large. So what can we do to not come to a point when we are clinically depressed or clinically ill? First thing that we can do is be honest. Be honest to, as I highlighted, to our companion. Be honest to our parents. Be honest and to ourselves, and not compel ourselves to do something which we are not good at, or we are not comfortable doing, or it is not, I would say, not feasible, not, because there is a large amount of competition, large amount of social pressure, not social pressure, even individual pressure is there to be to see yourself succeed. So not to succumb towards it, always keep that in mind. And because everything is natural, guys. It's not, life is given, we have been given this life, we have not chosen to to be born. Though we consciously bring children in this world, that's a conscious decision that we make. But the life, any individual who is alive in this world has not chosen the life that he or she has been given. So points to ponder on. Because if we don't, friends, the treatment of any major psychological disorder is through medications and through therapy. Therapy is not easy. It's not we all know the answers to the question that we are seeking. It's all within us. Sometimes we do need to be told what those things are, and that's where the therapists and the professionals who are doing what is being done is such a noble job, and the need of the hour maybe. But we must also be aware enough to not, every therapist must also be must be an advocate of mental health awareness prior to a problem becoming a problem. That is what I feel. It is also because I have interacted with so many professionals, so many doctors, so many clinical psychologists, and they all the best ones that I've worked with, they have always encouraged and told that before becomes a real problem where medications are needed and a long course of treatment is needed, it is best to not arrive at that situation. And these social medias, these videos are such a good visual and audio visual medium to convey these facts. Because once a problem becomes a problem, then we have to treat it as a problem, and there is a standard operating procedure for everything that is there. Again, kindness becomes even more vital in such cases, and care is, we understand, I understood a lot about myself after I became quote unquote ill. But that was all a process, friends. It is not, we don't choose anything, and we just become, I became a warrior, a much more assertive warrior after the predicament that I went through. My family became more close knit. My problems were well addressed, and I became a much stronger individual than I was prior to me becoming quote unquote ill. I don't see myself as a liability, or to say to everybody who is undergoing through an unfortunate situation in life, or even unsolvable problems in life, is a warrior is being carved through the situations which you are undergoing. Situations, not only mental problems, situations. A problem can be just labeled as a problem. There are situations also, and each and every individual is going through a situation in life, and that situation is carving a warrior out of you. So don't see off that situation. Just face the situation in the eye. Don't look for labels. Don't look for anything. Just be your true self. It will reflect something which was always there, but it will just enhance everything in life. It's the worth of enduring that has given me the power of speech that I have today, and through which I wanted to convey what I have been through. Thank you.